So pretty recently I got married for the second time, and we have 4 children between us, 2 of his and 2 of mine, and one of mine is autistic. And the day we were going to City Hall, I told Ezra about 30 minutes before we were leaving, and Ezra's my autistic one. I said, come on, get ready, because we're going so that Jim and I can get married. And Ezra said, no married. And I said, listen, Ezra, you're coming with me. All 4 children are going to be there when we get married. That's going to happen. So I went up to the kitchen, and I was doing something. I don't know, I was like putting some dishes in the dishwasher. And Ezra showed up in the kitchen with a pool noodle, one of those pool noodles, those blue, you know, the pool noodles that you float around on. And he goes, can you marry this? And I said, why not? So I actually did a little ceremony with the pool noodle, and you know, took it to be my lawfully wedded spouse, and he watched me the whole time, like, that's weird. And then and I thought that was it, and I went upstairs to finish getting ready in my bedroom, and Ezra followed me, and he laid down on the bed, and I said, Ezra, are you okay? You're gonna come with us to get married? And he goes, no married. And I said, Ezra, are you worried that things are gonna change? Because everything's gonna stay the same. I said, you're still gonna be with Daddy half the time, and you'll be with me half the time, and I love you, and Daddy loves you, and Jim loves you. And he goes, can I marry that? He pointed to a laundry basket. And I said, the laundry basket? And he goes, can I marry that? And then he pointed to the pool noodle. And I said, the pool noodle? And he goes, can I marry things? And I said, I'm pretty sure you can't marry things. I think you have to marry humans. And he goes, no humans. But I started to understand then what was happening maybe in his brain, because this is an ongoing question for me always, is what is happening in Ezra's brain? How do I know him? And he, you know, like many autistic people, he has always connected more to things than people. When he was very little, when he was like 2 and 3, we couldn't leave the house without this particular collection of foam animals that came out of this book about a farm, and there were 8 of them, and he needed all of them with him. And if he dropped one somewhere, he would say, you know, where's the purple cow? And we'd be like, oh no, we'd have to go get it. And we'd have to figure out where it was. And we thought we would be really smart and get another one of those books and pull those out. But then it was like he needed 2 of each. And then slowly also it started turning into like, it became like a bucket of animals. And every time we left the house, he had to bring his entire bucket of animals. And there were like 30 things in there. And we would go out and come back, and he could just look at that bucket for a second and be like, where's the yellow chicken? And we'd be like, no, you know, so we'd have to backtrack and think where we were, and, you know, more often than not, we would find whatever he had dropped in some like muddy puddle somewhere, and get it back so that he wouldn't have, you know, freak out. So Jim, who was listening to this whole conversation, said, Ezra, do you want to bring the pool noodle to get married? And he said, yeah. So we went that day to City Hall, and we got married, and we had all 4 kids with us, and like the kids were running around with the pool noodle was what wound up happening. Ezra didn't even look at the pool noodle, but the other 2 boys were like whacking each other with it and chasing each other around, and Ezra was like, you know, stepping in the mud, and the older girl was, you know, kept like trying to be in all the pictures between Jim and me, and it was like, it was such, and the whole time I'm going, no, stop it, no, stop it, kid, you, stop it, you know, and because that's like what our lives are. It's just like, it's the hardest thing. I mean, even getting married, you know, we had come to this, it took us so long to get to that place, and so many times I thought, I can't do this, this is the craziest thing, this is unbearable, trying to blend our families and all the complications, and we had so many times where we almost didn't do it, we almost didn't stay together, and you know, every day brings another challenge with our relationship, and so so I get it. It's like, things, they're so uncomplicated, they're so uncomplicated. They don't have messy feelings. They don't cause difficulties. They don't make you, they're not erratic. And this is the thing for Ezra, is like everything, just going out into the world for him is like, can be scary, because what's going to happen? It's so uncertain out there. And when, I really got it at that point after we got married and understood what it was he was saying, things, they're uncomplicated. Whereas with people, it's so complicated to the point where sometimes I feel like, oh God, I should have just married that goddamn school, that pool noodle. It would be so much easier. And he doesn't like that messiness. And we get so, between humans, communication can be so difficult sometimes that we entirely lose each other. Sometimes you get divorced, like Ezra's dad and I did, and sometimes the things you lose can't be replaced. Thank you.